And just a real second, could you guys introduce your characters, like how you look, perhaps real quick, and give
Yeah,
me a
and well,
visual?
and let me kind of preface that as well and tell you where you're at and then how this all. Let me give you the setup because
Nice.
so um, Paco, you found a job with a company called Spinward Salvage. Um, and Spinward Salvage, you find out, is a company that kind of profiteers off all of the wrecks from the war. They go to like battle sites and they shipbreak and they cut ships and then they get salvage contracts hauling it. Um, and you're currently in a solar system called Squalia. Squalia is a water world, kind of like Europa, and there are all these underwater cities, and you have a contract with them, and the crew, you kind of work for a crew that has a what do you call a subsidized ship called the Rhapsody, which is a fat trader subsidized merchant ship, 400-ton starship, and so they have a captain um, and some crew members. But the first person you talk to is you have like a worker rep, and maybe it's like a temp job where they like pull together people that are available. I don't know. The company rep, she comes out. Her name is she says, "My name's Henna Vig, and let's get this over with." And she just like sighs exasperatedly and explains nothing and spins around on her heels. And coming out of the ship are several people, including who is the captain. I think we decided that, right? Yeah, Perseus is the captain.
At the time, it was Dex, but we have a smaller crew now, so
I pick you. You're it. I don't know where
you
I had
got
it
it.
written down. I had like the oh yeah, I know it's on the Rhapsody itself. It's on the character sheet.
Yeah. I can captain just fine from the pilot's chair.
You're now the captain pilot, and I'm gonna get rid of this roll here. Boom. That's
Yeah,
it.
like Han Solo.
Yeah, that's actually how scout ships work. I think is what I saw. Anyways, yeah. So and then you see, this is what you see, Paco. Um, so basically, Paco is handed over to you like, hey, here's a worker.
What are you made of, son? I say to you, I mean, about 1 year younger than my character.
I've got a trench coat with various doodads sticking out of various pockets.
Oh
And
no.
I got a set of goggles on my head. They're raised up on my forehead. Um, I got long, stringy hair. Uh, I'm pretty good at the wrench. We're not going to be seeing any combat soon, are we?
Not under ideal conditions, but don't get comfy.
Well, this
A
rig
bar
needed
fight.
help or what?
Hey, if we have an extra pair of hands that can keep us out of firefights, then we always appreciate that kind of input.
We got an understanding there, Dad. Cigar? I'll hand a cigar to him.
Oh yeah, Chapman accepts that.
Oh yeah, he actually likes to smoke. I forgot about that.
I'll strike
Yeah,
one
I
up
wanna.
with blowtorch I have.
I want to look at books to see what his take on this guy is, if he has his approval.
I'm Books is sizing him up, and I repeat my question. I said, "So how do you fare in a bar fight, friend?"
I learned, and my daddy used to tell me always to keep my head under the counter. That way, don't get shot off. But I can kick you hard in the shins.
Okay,
I see a kindred soul
fair,
in you, Paco.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And I look over at Chapman and I give him the nod. You know, like he's all right with me.
Yeah. We've had enough people in our crew before whose primary strength they brought to the table was fighting, and turns out that is not the answer to most of our problems. So I will take your coat full of gizmos, gadgets, and other thingamabobs just fine.
Says the one who started most of the fights and got us arrested, if I'm recalling correctly.
I'm growing. It's character development.
I wonder if Paco would kind of actually like these guys because, first of all, they're talking about getting arrested, and you're breaking like 5 different Imperial safety regulations by igniting a torch and smoking near the ship, which the captain is clearly delighted with.
We're gonna get along just fine.
Now Paco enlisted in the Marines, of course. But he also grew up on the streets, probably with notes, with a respectable rap sheet, and also has a very high intelligence score despite having negligible education. So I get it.
Cool.
Does this ship have a wet bar?
As you're looking around for a wet bar in a Spartan free trader, it's not a subsidized trader. A dog person comes up and she says, "Hi, my name's Lothak," and she reaches to shake your hand because she knows that's what humans do.
A paw shake. Good dog. I mean, sorry. Of course.
You saw our dog. The dog. She winces. One of the things about the Vargur is that's really annoying to Vargur is humans can read their entire emotional state on their face at all times.
Your tail's wagging.
Yeah. She's like, oh, she's embarrassed. And she's like, I got things to do. She goes back to work. But
She's like an officer on the ship? Is she our fellow crew member?
She's new, yeah.
She is new. I have her listed as a gunner. You, by the way, have a suite of skills. So if you would prefer to be the pilot and have the captain slot separate, I can also make any of you the pilot, including Books or Paco. That's kind of trusting a lot to the new guy, I guess.
Just to review some of the things that we already have, Books is right now assigned as our engineer.
Yep.
We had Jackson was one of our gunners, so that's potentially something that we need to replace.
I have him as an NPC now, so you still have Jackson as a gunner with Gunnery 1.
Gotcha. And then we just kind of assigned another gunner NPC, an NPC medic, I believe. A little bit out of character, what kind of skills does Paco have, aside from the standard suite of traveler skills?
Well, what he tells you he has and what he has is not quite the same. But I'm what you might call a more jack of all trades. Flying one of these things? Pilot? Sounds like a interesting endeavor. I'm pretty good with gadgets, though. Blow out a bunch of smoke.
Books, what do you think?
Yeah, well, so kind of out of character. All of us have certain skills that we may be better at just based on our stats, or things that came up during character creation. Is there Paco? What is your, or Darren? What's your highest stat?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay, that's actually mine as well. What is it?
Eggheads in here.
One thing of note is if we give him Gunnery 1, which I'll give you this suite of skills, Lothak, you'd have a non-negative modifier gunner. Because currently Lothak has a negative modifier to her attack.
Right, and Did we think? I forgot. I think we talked about it, but Lothak as a potential option for our pilot seemed kind of desirable because she was a professional driver. I don't know if that skill would translate at all.
No,
She just
no,
has like a fundamental dexterity that's respectable at least.
She does not know how to be a pilot. Yeah, but I will
All
say
right.
that Paco does know how to be a pilot. If you want to trust the new guy to be the pilot, and it's totally up to you. I will say you could be like pilot captain, or you can split the roles, and I'll put it back in here as like you have captain and then pilot.
I'll slide into the pilot chair. Ooh, I can get used to this. Start hitting some switches. Click, click, click. Oh, wait, no. Turn that off. Everything shook for a minute.
Well,
I'm willing to entertain this. Give him a little trial run.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, it's a minor role, obviously. Like
There's
we
an
can...
ashtray on this thing. I'm looking for an ashtray and click, click, click.
That's great.
I mean, after all, the last thing I need is to be distracted with piloting the ship when I'm trying to captain. So,
All right.
Hey, you're the boss. You're the boss. I can. Oh yeah.
So I've
Put my
checked.
hands on the bars.
You've been able to depart the hotel, and without nothing happens. Just for Darren's sake, I'll actually describe the area here, just so you know. But you are on your way out. Henna is eager to go and get this job over with and get you on your way. But since you've been here, Paco, this place, Squalia, they have these domed cities underwater. They're probably a mile wide each, and there are dozens of them that stretch out along the ocean floor, representing their own independent nations, of which there are probably dozens on the planet. There are millions of people on this planet. And the gravimetrics inside of the domes keep everything at a 1G, and a standard atmosphere 2909 or 2, or in Canada 1018 hectopascals or whatever. Yeah, and then the peculiar thing about this place is that it all looks it has this bland teal appearance, and everything's really curvy, and then everything's really claustrophobic. Everything is like tubes leading into tubes into rooms, and everything here has an unusual sterile chemical smell like a hospital. Other than that, one nice smell is that the seafood here is really, really good.
Damn, allergic to shellfish.
Oh no, yeah. You probably need to get off this world then, because they love their shellfish. And they're not good at cross-contamination measures either. Okay, and other than that, what do you guys want? Do you want to do anything before you head to the ship and start pushing buttons?
well, let's recap. Our current contract with Spinward Salvage. We're going to where to do work with them?
In fact, why don't we do that in character? Because I don't think Henna told you, and I don't even remember if I posted it in chat. Sorry. So probably Henna. I'm going to blame her and say that she's the same way, and she slumps into the bridge as well. Why don't we go there, and like she'll tell you. Let's see.
Ultimately, we're on our way back to Flammarion at the end, like just to tie up our original contract, but we were picking up work along the way.
All right, so yeah, you put you on the bridge here and kind of, well, also need to, goodness, what is happening to the BTT? There we go. Let's see, we got, oh, I got the wrong people in here. Wait, no, this is the wrong ship. Sorry, this is what I get for running.
I was going to say, this is awfully familiar.
Right, running two different ships. Come on, computer. And now it's like struggling to load. Here we go. On the bridge.
That's right.
Of the Rhapsody. And let's see. I'm going to move you to the captain seat. And I don't know why he's got a dead symbol. Weird.
Jackson, no.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I'm removing Dex. He retires. And he goes off and does something else. Everybody else is in the right place. And then we're going to put Paco in the pilot seat. There we go. So now This is what the bridge looks like. The rest of the crew members, you have like a bunch of workers that work for you. You notice Paco that they're in. It's probably one of the best treatments you've ever gotten in your life. You sort of have the audacity to be like, actually, I'll be the pilot. And for once, you find some people that are like, yeah, you're our style. And you're invited onto the bridge. You haven't quite been the bridge type up to this point. But here you are. And your manager. So the fun thing about these corporate jobs where they're subsidized and you have a corporate ran merchant trader like this is you get a manager that goes with you. She has no operational control of the ship. The captain has operational control, but you have somebody that's looking over your shoulder the whole time on behalf of the company. Kind of like an alien, actually. That's a good example where you have like a company rep. Now, Henna Vig, as you get onto the ship, she's like muttering to herself. She's really been a ball of sunshine the whole time. And she's just like a real grouch. But she tells you when you get on the ship, she has a data pad, and she's like, all right, look, we have a salvage job here. We're going to have to go out into the asteroid belt here in Squalia. Once we get out into Squalia to the asteroid belt with this ship, actually, let me actually look. I think it's Thrust 1. Okay, so it's going to take us 6 days, so might as well get comfortable. Half the crew is going to stay on watch the whole time, and she's kind of like intruding in captain business at this point, actually, to be clear. But she's like, it's going to take us 6 days, get to the asteroid belt. Once we get to the belt, and this is required in the contract, we park the Rhapsody. I stay on board. Every single traveler gets an EVA, and you start breaking ships. Every single traveler. So since you've worked together, you'll get assigned some salvage. You'll go out and you'll work the salvage. We'll bring it all back into the ship, haul it back home, and sell it, make a payday, and then we're out of here. On to Fondor. Pretty simple. What do you say?
I'm gonna do something a little mean to Paco.
Uh-oh.
I'll be like, all right, you heard the lady. Go ahead. Here's your first task as pilot. You know how to execute a jump, right? Of course, that's a core skill that the pilot's going to need.
You're in your vac suits. You're in your vac suits, and he's like he's got his. You got your helmet on and everything. You're muted.
Oh, yeah, of course. And I look at them and then look back at the array of knobs and things. And yeah, of course. And I
so go ahead, do it.
So, boss, what are the coordinates?
She throws you some from the data pad. It goes into your flight control system.
I think it's over here, and here, and I start flicking switches and punching numbers and wait for a second in between.
All the Independence Day thing happens where
By
all
the
of a
way,
sudden one of the
everybody-
turrets comes alive and goes active. It goes hot. And then you press it again and it stows.
I got it now. Relax. Hey, we can buff that out. But I'll remind you guys, though, my back is pretty bad. I don't know how well I'll be in the salvage part. And
It's
anyway,
gonna be a long 6 days.
I was great. Everyone's strapped in.
Everybody, the on-watch crew have their weapons. Everybody's in their vac suits, and everybody's strapped in. Yeah.
Launch in 3, 2, and wince, close my eyes, hit the lever forward.
All right, you do it. You do know how to fly stuff, so I'll give you the standard suite of skills. So this is the biggest thing you've flown. You've flown as big as maybe a 50-ton, like a scout, like a panache or something like that.
Oh yeah, running guns.
Yeah. So this is like flying a 747. So you bring it power, and then it starts to lift off the pad. The controllers they query you for a departure clearance. and you ignore them and blast out the pad.
Everything's shaking because I'm doing a shitty job.
You each get 100 credit fine for not getting a departure clearance, and then you're in the black. So the first thing that happens when you get into space is there's a chance once per day that you might encounter something out in space. So if you set in the flight plan according to your flight control system, you start heading that way. You start getting away from Squalia. Let me see here.
So do we have like a sensor array? Is there a comm officer or somebody in charge of that? Like, do I have access to radar? I'm talking archaic terms here, of course.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. The other group, what they did is they had their navigator be the comms electronic warfare / navigator, and then they had the pilot just do piloty stuff, which interestingly only matters when things are going wrong. And then the mechanic, engineer, I don't know, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that makes sense. It's a good way to break up the responsibilities kind of evenly, at least in a crisis. But if you have any messages you want to relay...
Who? Him, yeah. Go ahead.
I will attempt to open up a sensor array to watch if nobody else is on that.
Yeah, I mean, and since we'll have players do it tonight.
Early warning.
Yeah,
I'm a bit of a paranoid type, so I'd be like,
All right, so your first day passes. You get away from the planet about two hours out, and you are free from the planet's gravitational pull. Another hour or so, well, another 3 hours, and hypothetically, you would be at a safe jump range. And you bring on the sensors, and out 150,000 kilometers out, you detect no ships so far.
Now, just to be clear, we're not actually going to need to jump, right? Like, our destination is still within the Squalia system.
So an interesting thing is you hypothetically could jump, but in this case, it would actually take longer.
Longer?
Use more fuel.
It'd be like 7 days instead of the 6.
It'll use, I think, half your fuel without going... There is a calculation for this. I'm not going to do it right now. It's like half. Like, you'll lose like 25 tons of fuel, whereas if you don't, you're operating on 50 tons. You have 4 weeks of continuous operation, including fuel, life support, food, etc. So you could actually, 4 weeks. So you could, since it's 6 days, what you do is you do a turn and burn. You go about halfway at 1G, and then you flip the other way and go 1G, burning the opposite direction, you know.
And once we set a course for most of the next 6 days, can we just kind of be drifting or on autopilot or something like that? Or do we need somebody always at the cockpit?
I think I'll throw out a couple of considerations, especially going into the other campaign and how I intend to kind of, especially when if something happens and it were to matter. I think it's a matter up to the captain, in this case Chris in the other game, talking to you all and discussing it. It's a sort of threat assessment. This is how I think of it. So there are decision points that you need to consider. In this case, hypothetically, you could just like let it go on autopilot and just go at thrust 1 and keep every system active. And then usually what you'd have is you'd hot bunk. You'd have half the ship on watch and half the ship off duty. And then you flip. And the crew that's on watch should have their vac suits on and weapons ready so that they're ready to respond, right? I don't know. That's what I would say. And then that being said, if you looking at the threat assessment, if you decide, hey, we need to be really careful, you could run cold, which almost is cold. Like you would go on auxiliary power and you wouldn't accelerate anymore, and it could take you weeks to try to get there. You know, as you but nothing can detect you or attack you if you do that. You could do it part of the way. You could target like another system, like a moon, and you could say, we're going to go behind this moon. Because the other thing is anytime you're occluded, something cannot detect you.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Because electromagnetic rays are only ever going to go in like a perfectly straight line.
Line of sight premise.
Unless there's like a black hole, but I don't think that's going to come up soon.
Yeah.
So I get I say it looks like we have 6 days slow roll or 7 days fast roll. What do you guys say?
No, we're no reason to draw this out any longer. I don't think we have any reason to suspect any risks that would require us to constantly be vigilant or to go running cold or anything like that.
That actually hadn't occurred to me, but if you're in jump space, you also can't be detected. But then every time you go into jump space, you can screw up the jump, and you can come out at different places and at different times. So.
Yeah, I think 6 days makes sense.
Anyone here gamble?
You say that as you like pop the restraints off. You're like, all right.
It didn't take very long for someone to ask. I'm like, was so glad you have.
I'll get a gambling ring going and.
Oh man! All right.
Eat every opportunity.
The card games I know are Hand of Fate, Blackjack, and Jip. I believe are the ones that we've done so far. Paco, I'm of the belief that the best way to get to know somebody really quickly is to play a game with them. That's when you see people's true selves. So, by all means, join us with the cards or the dice or whatever your poison is. Because we got a whole group of people here, all these other the crew members, I guess, that just regular Teamsters need to know what travelers are all about.
Did you order them all seafood pizza last time?
We did.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I want us to be popular with them. I want Lothak to be enjoying herself having the adventure that she's always dreamed of. I want to have a lot of loyalty and buy-in established as early as possible.
Yeah.
Because I know that inevitably something's going to go horribly wrong, and I want people who are like really tight with us, like ride or die.
Yeah, Lothak is loving it. Henna, whether it's because of this or not, huffs and goes off to her quarters, and you don't see her again. If you want to gamble, does anybody have gambling 1?
You would think I would, but
No one
no.
has it? All right. You can, if you want, I will allow PvP here. If you all want to gamble with each other in the crew to see if you can get a pot of money.
Yeah.
I'm game if anyone else here is.
All right.
Yeah, I'm down.
Then it'll just be a simple 2d6, and you can add your intelligence, a +1 to the result if you have intelligence 10 or higher. And let's see if anybody won. And I'm also going to have the NPCs as one pool, so.
I got a 10.
10, all right.
I got a 7.
7. And then what did you get? Books.
6 plus. Actually, it's coming up as Darren when I roll.
I see that. That's weird.
Yeah, because I rolled before, and I think I was the 9, and then I thought, okay, maybe there's some kind of glitch. Yeah, because I'd rather take the 9.
Did you select the Darren token? So if you select your token, and I think if you do that and roll, no, I don't know.
I just hit on the bottom where it says 2. That's what I've always been hitting since we've been doing this.
Well,
I don't mind.
No, yeah. Let's
Yeah,
not worry about it.
I just rolled and it came up as Darren as well. That is weird.
I don't know, but it's okay.
Well,
I think that means you won the pot. We'll say it's a medium buy-in. So you each lose 50 credits, except Paco, who earns. Let me do the math. Whoops.
I'm sorry. How did that work?
Cheat.
Just roll high. And then add your intelligence as a +1, and then if anybody has gambling.
So I would have.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I would have gotten 10 then. 10.
Oh, okay. So you both got 10. You got a 10, right, Paco?
Yeah.
All right. So you both got 10. So at this point, everybody's cashed out. So you have 2 options. You can split the pot, or you can raise. So
Can I cheat?
1, 2, 3, 4. This is for 500 credits so far.
I'll raise.
I can't cheat, can I?
You could totally try to cheat, but I'm including that in if you have gambling and in your intelligence. I assume you're all cheating.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, everyone's. I'm folded. Or I'm out, and the pot's stacking up on the table. And I'm like, so.
So now you guys are playing for my salary? That's what I'm seeing.
All right, so yeah, you raise it up to 100 each, because that's the next thing. So the total pot will be 700. So you stand to, one person stands to lose 150 credits, and the other stands to gain 700 credits. So roll 2d6 and add 1. You'll have to announce it, because it's always saying Darren.
I did roll a 9, and then so I got a 10 total.
You got a 10?
You what? I got 7 plus 1, so 8.
7. You're pretty sure that Paco is cheating, but then so were you. So I mean,
See my sleeves. I'm showing sleeves.
Books, you're at a minus 150. Perseus minus 50, and Paco gets 700 credits. This is the first day. The day passes. You switch crews. The next day, let me see what happens the next day and what you would see. You when you're on watch, let's see who's on. Captain Perseus. You're on watch, and the ship emits an alert.
Yeah, I'm imagining it's like more or less the equivalent of nighttime. A lot of folks asleep. I'm alone in the cockpit. Boots like up on the dash, drinking some coffee, and then like a red blinking light happens, and I'm like, oh.
Yep. All of a sudden, within your sensor range, a ship comes up on your sensors.
Oh boy, what do we got? The main thing I'm curious about is its allegiance, but
This is an R-type merchant ship, so it's a big fat trader like you guys, or even bigger, maybe. And it preemptively tries to speak to you. You get a like an incoming message through your comms.
I'll receive that.
All right. They say, unidentified ship. This is the Wayne. Who are we talking to?
A sec. The Wayne. You're talking to the Rhapsody. Brought to you by the Spinward Salvage Company.
Okay, a corpo ship. Okay. And he blows a raspberry into the comms. It hurts your ears. He's like, all right, no, I'm just kidding. Listen, we just came out from the belt. I see you heading that way. I gotta warn you. There was something strange out there. Some big ship.
Yeah?
Yeah, we saw something on our radar. I wanted to give you a heads up. I saw you headed that way.
What was your business out there, Wayne?
Prospecting.
Makes sense. Any that something big you saw give you any trouble?
Nope, no trouble. I just thought it was really strange. Maybe it was a spurious reading or something, but it looked like a big ship, cruiser or bigger. No Imperial ships I know around this area.
Gotcha. Oh, this looks like it's. Oh, he moved a little bit. I was gonna say 150,000 kilometers out. I don't know how fast things travel, like in transit. So like we went past them by, but I prefer to hear from my crewmates what they think about this and if we should take it into consideration in any of our decisions. Books especially, you know, you and I have been traveling together the longest. You might have some input, but if Paco or even Henna have something that they want to think.
I'll probably be in my hammock snoring.
Yeah, yeah. I think I would same, or I'd be curled up with a book in my lap asleep. But as soon as I hear the comms, I kind of come awake and I'm half asleep, half listening, just from years of dealing with this kind of stuff to see if it's important or not, and that tweaks my interest. So I get up, put my book down, and walk over to you and say, "All right, Captain, what do you think? Does this? I mean, I don't know how
Okay.
this will affect things on a day-to-day basis. I mean, it's good to be aware of, but we don't know where this is coming from, right? So we don't.
I was going to
We
ask
don't.
Ross,
Yeah.
do we have a visual on this ship?
Visual. It's on your radar, and you can tell everything about kind of the type of ship it is. It's 150,000 kilometers out, so it's just right in your sensor range. Type R merchant ship. What else would you want to know?
Well, if we had an idea of what company they might be for, or
Sure.
if they were Imperium, or if they were, heavens forbid, Zodani, and maybe just badly disguising it.
Yeah. So definitely not Zodani, and unlikely. You look at it, and it does seem like they are a corporate ship, and they were just busting your chops. Like they're probably also working for McClellan or Spinward or one of the other companies. If you were trying to figure out what company they were working for, you could try to infer it. You wouldn't. The system wouldn't tell you, but I would afford a dice roll for that.
I think it's worth a shot, Can't hurt to potentially have more information by using my noggin.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Messed something up here. Oh man. Sorry. Now I gotta fix something on the VTT. Gosh darn it.
Paco comes stretching into the top, our bridge, puffing on a cigar. Heard something about an anomaly, big ship. Does he have the coordinates where he last saw it?
I mean, he just said they were out near the belts like we're about to go to, and there was just something real big and weird out there.
I look at the
I think
space cards.
he confirmed that it was a ship, but of course, even if he thought that, it could still be mistaken.
Salvageable?
And that certainly would be the ideal scenario.
Hostile.
I say we may want to get closer, but close enough, not close enough that it could hurt us or do something to us, fire on us in case it was some kind of scam. We may just want to take a peek closer to see if we could make out anything.
And mind you, I'm expecting that this is going to be a good 4 or 5 days away before we actually get within range to detect the same thing this guy's warning us about. I'm wondering how big of a waste it could be if we go all the way to the belt and then just have to turn around and go all the way back to Squalia because we're too chicken to face whatever big Cthulhuid is out there waiting for us. I'm trying to weigh the most extremes here, like how bad could it be and how bad would it be to just run away from it.
Alex?
This one's from out of system, and it doesn't happen until you pass by, and it's actually because you do a trick on them. that's an old traveler trick. They pass by you, and they leave everything transmitting. You leave the radio hot, and they leave a hot mic on, and you just listen to them for a while, and you listen to them bitch about their bosses. So it's not nothing. No.
Is it all just mundane stuff? We're just eavesdropping now.
Yeah, and because they leave it on, you just smile and kick back, and you just hear everything. You hear them talk about their jobs, and they're working for a company called Hardway Shipping. And Hardway Shipping is actually independent. It's not. It's a conglomeration of indie ships that sign on to like a co-op, if you will. It's not actually a megacorp. This co-op agreement works like an old-time Earth Guild, they also kind of work like a union group where they will be very harsh with people when they get out of line, and they'll start edging out their competition and taking over, and they do dirty things to try to like take over. Yeah, okay.
That said, I think we'll take their warning pretty seriously. I don't think it was done in bad faith, and it doesn't sound like they're pirates, unless they're just incredibly smart pilots. Are pirates. I guess only one way to find out. Just keep going how we were. Just keep our eyes peeled for anything big and mysterious.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Brock, I can use my bribery skill. In a sense, it mesh it with technology to see that if I could steal their ship information.
Yeah, because you have the what kind of information you're trying to steal, and to what end? What are you going to try to do with it?
Just simple identity stuff in case we need to have a scapegoat.
A scapegoat, yeah, because you have like some of their stuff. So I'll give you some names and date and info.
We're part of another faction.
Yeah, so this ship is called it's called the Wayne.
Wayne?
The Wayne. It is a type R, so it's exactly like yours. It's a fat trader. 400-ton vessel. It has a private owner. You find out that the private owner's name is Captain Archer. The people talking on the hot mic are their names are Kedrick and Sarat.
So, when we go back to Squalia and they're like, hey, you have to pay your fee for not getting the departure clearance, we'll be like, oh, no, we're the Wayne.
Oh, and I'm hacking like serial numbers and stuff and the hull numbers.
I'm not actually going to bank on that plan. I assume that these guys are currently on their way back to Squalia, but yeah, it can't hurt to have a good set of actual names we can fall back on.
And also, I'm going to trace out like my star chart, punch in coordinates and see if there's a way around this large ship, unless we want to investigate it.
Okay, let me take a look and roll a 2d6 preemptively to get 8 on a navigation check.
Right. Nope.
Yeah, it's just that where you're trying to go, you think it would take you weeks. Like you would actually run out of supplies, or you'd have to refuel somewhere, you think, in order to try to do that based on what you're seeing. All right, several days pass without further incident. The ship passes, with them. Actually, I was going to look it up out of sheer curiosity. It takes precisely 125 minutes for it to pass, I think. So about just shy of 2 hours, about 2 hours and change, it passes by, going towards Squalia. And you come into sight of the asteroid belt. And all these different planetoids and baby planets. And This takes you 6.5 days. It was unfortunate, but the ship starts to slow down, and then it comes to a stop near a large planetoid, and Henna looks at you all and says, "All right, get to it." And she brings up some scans, some information from the ship that she has, and she says, "All right. The former crew of the High and Dry. We've got a cruiser. You know what? I think you all should be good at this. According to this, it's a Zidani cruiser. Slice up what remains of it out of its belly, get it hooked up to our launch, and start towing it in."
What about these guys? They're getting the easy stuff?
They are getting the easy stuff, yes.
All right. I'm glad you have such faith in us. I frequently try to really like pull Henna's leg. I'm sure she's never amused by any of these attempts, but
Yeah.
give her a friendly pat on the back, and I'm like, all right. And I circle up our crew, our subset of the Rhapsody crew.
You're given 4 large explosive charges to help cut the ship.
And I'm sure we briefed Henna about what happened a few days ago, and I just say, like, keep an eye out for anything weird, since you're the one who's going to stay on the ship.
All right, and you go in the launch, and the launch releases you in EVA onto the edge of a strange, sleek. It looks like a SR-71. This cruiser. It's not like any cruiser that you have ever seen. Let's see here.
Ooh.
And you find an entrance, actually, and once you get here, you find something really, really strange. Now, let me make sure that it's working on my end. I'll have to reload it. Maybe adjust it too. But you should be able to hold control and use your mouse wheel to orient your main beam of your light around to look at things. You find an entrance point, and it looks like you could probably pry open the door. You need to find a place inside where you can plant the explosives to cut the ship. Basically, separate it into parts so that the launch can efficiently haul it.
Is that door the way in, or that's where we came in?
You have space behind you currently, and you're on EVA, and your boots have grav locked into like the paneling on the bottom of the ship, and
Right.
that door is a portion where the ship has been blown apart and sheared, and that door should hypothetically lead further into the ship.
Ooh.
All right. Tell you what, we're gonna have Books and Paco take point up in front, and then in the very back we're gonna have Lothok kind of protected by Corbinon and Jackson because they're not here, and I want to make sure that she's not like, openly exposed to where there could be danger.
Corbinon and Jackson and Lothok?
Yeah, kind of in the back.
Okay. All right.
Once we, make sure that the coast is clear, we'll send them in to get started on, picking apart all the good stuff.
Sure.
Baco's pretty reluctant to go point. He's fading in the back.
Oh, what? Do you think now's a good time to chicken out? You thinking of having second thoughts? I mean, if you want, there's the door, I say, pointing out towards space.
That kind of Oaks puts his arm around Paco and nudges him forward, like without really saying anything, just with his eyes, and body language, like, come on, let's go. We got a job to do.
Yeah.
All right. Who opens the door?
I'll open the door.
You should be able to just click on it.
Okay.
All right, so you have to like push and slide and lock your boots into place, but you're able to manually push it open. It kind of gives way at the top and gets stuck a little bit. You're able to kind of pull yourself in to the extent you want. On the lighting that you see on the other side, it looks like this looks like, based on the seating you see, some kind of lounge. But then there's like a cracked open storage container here as well.
All right. Let's try to find pretty close to the center of the room and then fan out, I think.
And you should be able to just move your tokens. Let me know if you can't. It's making you move Corbin on, huh? Oh, it's because you got him selected or something.
Yeah, like double selected, I think.
Yeah. Right. When you come further in, you can see that this lounge terminates here and narrows further ahead to another door. It looks like these storage containers have been cracked open, and this is just like padded seating with a gel type padding. Everything in here has a sleek geometric design. You don't even see how it makes sense for this to be the room of a starship, because you're used to there being things like emergency equipment and paneling and like things to actually interact with the ship in case there's an emergency. And you don't see any of that here. It just looks like perfectly geometric with no features on the walls.
I guess if you have magic brain powers, then you don't need any of that stuff, apparently.
You say that character.
Yeah, I do. I'll tell, Lothak and the others to rifle through the sofas just to check if they have anything hidden there, even if it's just loose change. We're going to take a look at what's might be remaining in these containers.
Okay.
Where I expect there's more likely to be something interesting.
They rifle through the couches, you check through the containers, you find nothing. It looks like this room was torn apart.
Alright. Same thing. Procedures before. Let's try out this other door further in. I assume Books will be doing the opening until a point where he's able to convince Paco to give it a go.
Yeah.
Books, you open the door. This room, you see what looks like a cargo hold, or an intermediate cargo hold, because it's kind of small. And don't worry about it. You can move tokens, it's fine. And totally you can move your tokens. I'll get these guys in here with you. This intermediate cargo hold, you can see how there's doors that go off to your left and to your right. I'm going to pan the camera here as well. And you see that there is a bunch of old cargo boxes here. Some of them are open, some of them are closed. It's unusually Spartan, as I said before. There are parts of it that have been busted open, and there's old wiring on the floor. And then you notice something. This wiring has a charge, and it's actually emitting an intermittent charge. That means somewhere this ship has power. You have a Zodani cruiser that could hypothetically have power. You might be one of the only humans to have seen that.
I know what everyone else is thinking, right? This could make for a pretty sweet ride if we get it up and running again. We'll take a quick look at these containers, but if it seems like they've also been stripped down, then we might, going forward, just go on the assumption that's probably the case for most of those we're going to find.
All right.
We're going to prioritize where our attention is going to go.
Anyone taking the time to search can roll a 2d6 and to get 8 or above If your intelligence is 10 or above, you can add 1.
Got it. I got 11.
You crack open one of the ones that's kind of in the back. You kick one out of the way and crack one of them open, and it releases a difference of pressure in the vacuum, and you see these packaged things, and you take it out, and it has some kind of laminate covering. It has a text that you don't understand the language, presumably Zodani, and or Zodon or whatever. And you squeeze it, and you think this is some sort of food. Yeah, some kind of food, and it's absolutely filled with food. There's like 500 pounds of this food in this thing.
I don't know if this is what we came for, or if we'll be able to find a buyer for it, but this is worth it. I mean, I'm not gonna be the first to volunteer to try it out, but all right, crew, what are we thinking? Do we want to go to the left? Do we want to go to the right? Do we just want to haul this back to the ship? Do we want to split up?
I don't think we should split up. Also, I out of character, I can't move my character without moving
No big
Darren's
deal.
character.
Go ahead.
Like-
I don't know why that is, but go ahead and move your character, and we'll replace them. No big deal. I don't know
Okay.
why it's doing
Okay.
that.
Thank you. I say we keep exploring.
I know why. I can fix this actually.
Be something more valuable here than just
Boom.
food.
Can you still move your character? Boom. Can you move your characters?
Yeah, it's still
Is it still doing it?
still
Still
doing it.
I can move Darren independently of books.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know
And
if it's...
VTTs, every one of them has their weird quirks, and it's like...
Yeah, more than anything, let's not allow it to get us to stop. We'll rearrange it as we go.
Okay.
Let's take a look over to the left, crack this door open.
All right.
Hopefully we find something more exciting than just food.
Yeah, you force this door open as well, and you see a hallway. Now you see that portions of the wall have been torn out in places here, and there's actually damage. There's sections here that the wall's been blown out in places, and at this point you actually get on your communicator you get a notice that the Rhapsody is trying to contact you.
All right, can we answer that?
Yeah, sure. You hear a slightly labored breathing on the other end. It is Henna, and she says, "Captain, can you hear me? Captain."
Loud and clear.
Captain, I wanted to advise you of something. I think you should probably stay low, and you may be there for a few hours. I am currently negotiating with pirates.
Are they aware of our existence?
I'm not sure. I'll try to keep you updated, but I don't want them to intercept the signal, and I don't want to provide any more information. I think we may be able to get out of this if we just offer half our goods.
All right, I'm sure there's a radio term for it. We won't contact her first.
All right, radio silence. Yeah, you go Nordo. You may probably have like a procedure for that, even, where you just stay silent and wait to hear from her.
All right, I have a suggestion, more like a hope I'm expressing in very practical terms. Let's try to find some guns on this thing. Any weird giant psychic weapons would be really exciting right now.
All right, where do you go next?
I agree.
I don't have a good sense of the kind of layout that a Zozani ship is going to have, and I'm sure it is completely counter to all of my intuitions of every ship I've ever been on.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to have a lounge connected to an intermediate cargo space.
And I'm also curious, Ross, with my tech savvy, if I could start to wonder if there's like control panels, and I was looking at that energy cable,
Yeah.
whether or not it could be used to access systems on the ship.
Yeah, I'll say if you make a mechanical throw on a 6+, you'll be able to get a sense of where you think that power source might lead to.
That's worth it. We can backtrack as necessary to do that.
Right. So I'm gonna give you a point of where I think this is heading, but of course there's corridors, so but it's heading somewhere off this direction, meaning off further that way.
Let's head. I don't even know where the front of the ship is. I can't even use that terminology.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's head this direction, up this hallway. If we can find something resembling what we recognize as a bridge, that would be ideal. Man. T intersection.
Jackson is going to tell Lothak, like, stay close to me. He's going to train his weapon, and because they're trained to do this, they're going to cover your 6 as you go.
Are there any indications, symbols on the walls or doors that would tell me where perhaps the bridge is?
That is... Yeah, that may be one of the weirdest things about this ship is no. And in fact, that doesn't make any sense because on an Imperial ship or free trader or anything that you know from human space, you would have signs, you would have placarding, you would have cautions and warnings and notices, and you'd have all sorts of stuff like that. And this ship is completely barren of that. And the walls are completely bland, smooth.
I pictured them all looking like a guy on that movie, Megamind.
Yeah. No one has ever seen a Zidani, as far as you know, under their helmet before. They disintegrate whenever you open their suits.
Okay.
It's back here, though. In the back level.
Yeah, I kind of want to go over here.
All right.
I hope I'm right about this, but we're going to try opening this door here. Yeah.
Well, after you. What?
All right, you open this section here, and it's a larger room. You see what looks like a barracks, and I'm happy to note, included in that barracks, you see gun lockers.
Nice.
Well, that's a start.
And it's at that point that you receive a new transmission coming in to your otherwise quiet radio.
All right. I will answer, or I'll, turn it on to listen. Want to hear their voice first.
Yeah, you listen through your suit comms, and you hear static and panic, and it's like, Captain, they destroyed the pirates. They're destroyed. The ship's destroyed.
The pirate ship's destroyed, or the Rhapsody's destroyed?
The pirate ship's destroyed.
By whom?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, so the pirate ship is destroyed?
I'm telling you, there's a Cthulhuid out here.
Captain,
definitely.
I can't talk anymore. I'm going dark. I can't let them see me. I'm bringing the Rhapsody dark. I'm so sorry. It's heading your way. And it goes black.
All right, let's pick up the pace. We're just gonna kind of rush through some of these rooms until we see something that really obviously helpful. No close inspections or anything. Let's continue on in this direction through this other door that over here.
Didn't they say there's weapons?
Okay, yes, we'll stop for weapons.
There's a weapons locker, right?
What kind of weird psychic weapons do we got?
Well, there's a door on either end, and they're locked. But then you notice something else. Finally, on one of the walls, you see a strange light that's blinking, which indicates that the ship still has auxiliary or emergency power. but you've never interfaced with the Zodani terminal before.
I imagine you just plug your brain in and it's like that.
Oh, and I also forgot to note that there is a broken data pad on the table.
Good. I'll pick up the broken data pad.
All right.
See if I can figure out how to use it. I'll inspect it.
Do you have a
Try to get it to turn
computer
on.
one or anything like that?
I have high intelligence, but that's really it. No computer one.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's a really hard check, but you can try to use your. Do you have a personal device? I think you do, right?
I don't
Yeah.
personally, but I thought that we had one as a group.
I have a hand computer.
Okay, yeah. If you borrow his hand computer, I'll say on a 12 plus you can get this to work. It's very hard unless somebody has computer one. Yeah, because it's
We'll
shattered.
give it a shot,
It's
folks.
broken. Yeah.
Could I try and fiddle with the interface?
Sure. Yeah, you have mechanic one, but this is very hard and alien, and you've never seen anything like this before. Does anybody have a lockpick kit? Just to check before I. And I apologize, you didn't get to buy anything. That's something we didn't get to do.
I didn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we kind of rushed into it. I apologize. In fact, I'll say you could have bought a lockpick kit if you have 10,000 credits. If you want to say you have one,
Yeah.
I didn't offer it.
Buy like a little monkey pet too,
You want a what?
like a little kind of monkey pet, alien monkey pet.
You guys, I forgot.
Monkey pets must be earned. That is the very
Wait,
spirit
no,
of
the dog
adventure.
died too. The dog and the gerbil died, right? Because they were on the ship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah.
Ross
Yeah,
read
hold
my
on.
blog post about animal companions, and he's like, "Not in my game."
Not in this game. Yeah, all the pets have died. Cheerful. Yeah, you could, if you choose, you could have a lockpick kit. They cost almost nothing. That's weird. They cost 10 credits.
It's scary.
It's up to you. They're tech level 4.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. With that, you're able to simply open it. Shh. Which one do you go to?
The interface or the lockers?
The lockers. There's one here and there's one here.
North one first or upper one first?
Okay.
4, maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
You're able to unlock it. There you go.
What do we have here?
You see inside here things that are on the north locker. You recognize these. This is a laser carbine. Now this is a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Deceptive when it calls it a laser carbine. A laser carbine is something more like a laser cannon. It has like a backpack and an energy cable, and it goes into this big gun, and you hold it. And it's one of the most powerful guns in the game.
Any of you Marine types want to haul this thing around?
It does 4 die damage. Actually, laser carbine is more like, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's connected, but it's like a laser rifle, but it's big.
Carbine. The last message we got is they're on their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell the others we're gonna get company soon, and I'm gonna
Alright.
run toward that other passageway.
Books, if you prefer to use this over your current gun, I noticed that I believe you're skilled in gun combat.
Yes. Yeah. I'll take it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I know you don't have laser carbine as a skill, but do you have a dexterity of 10 or higher?
I do not.
Is it 5 or lower?
Yes.
Okay, you will be using this at a -1.
I do have dex of 10 or higher if we actually wanted to switch, but first, can we crack open this other locker, see what we get in there?
Okay. Yeah, I'll crank this one open first then.
Okay, you're able to use the lockpick and pick it open.
Nice.
In here, you find 3 assault rifles with ammunition.
Ooh.
All right. Then I'll take the laser carbine, and then everybody else go ahead and grab an assault rifle if it's better than what you already have.
All right. Perseus, you would use the laser carbine at +1.
Gotcha.
The assault rifles, they do 3 die damage. If you have a 6 or lower, you would use it at -1. But I believe everyone has auto rifle 1 as well, because you have that from the battle. So.
All right. Now we're gonna try to keep Lothok in the center of the group. And
Okay.
I want to go ahead and try to open up this door over here.
All
I think
right.
we're moving this direction. And of course, we'll tell Jackson and Corbinon to be constantly watching behind us, just in case we're right that somebody might be coming up from behind. What are these?
Yeah,
These
you
like hypersleep chambers?
you go into here and you would recognize something like this. This is a low berth, but of a design you've never seen before. So low berth is when they cryogenically freeze you, and so you don't take up any space or oxygen. In Imperial technology, it usually makes you sick every time you come out of low berth for a while.
Right.
One of them has a blinking light on it. And the computer nearby is fluctuating but still active.
I don't want to open this up and have like a weird guy inside.
Can we take like a 3-minute break?
Oh yeah, sure.
Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm down with that. I'll go
Or,
pee too.
or I could just duck out. I just have to quick run upstairs to the kitchen and check on something.
Yeah, all right. We'll take a 3-minute break. I'll see y'all in a
Go to the
second.
washroom.
Take a break real quick. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
We'll do oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, is Andrew back?
I don't.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, I'm here.
okay. If there's anything your characters individually want to do while we're waiting for Darren to get back, you can do that, just so we can, speed things along a little bit.
I want to orient this ship in my mind. I don't know if you're
I
familiar
kind of
with
want
this.
to.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to. Sorry, I want to. Like, there's this puddle area over here. I don't know if that's just part of the. Like, I don't know if that's significant or just part of how this is made, but I kind of want to investigate that.
You do. And you see something that it's possible that no one in the Imperium has either ever seen, or if they've seen it, they've not lived to tell, or they've not been allowed. If they have seen it, they haven't been allowed to live within or outside the Imperium, or whatever didn't let them live. You see a person in here. You see a Zodani person.
Do they look like they're bug helmets, or do they look like humans?
It looks like a human. He's wearing a turban of a sort of Sikh type of style of turban. It has ornamentation. He has dark hair. Somewhat handsome, thin mustache and narrow beard, with dark hair and dark skin.
So, okay. So, I mean, so right now we know that there's something bad coming for us. Something that defeated what we thought was the enemy. So if my thinking is it might be a good idea to try to contact or wake up the Zodani, just because we don't, otherwise we may be out of luck. It's a risk, but it's definitely one I think we should take. What do you guys think?
All right, I'll start tinkering with the thing.
Yeah, just in case we can communicate, and he is willing to give us information that he might be helpful. Let's crack this cold one open. This guy's been in the tanning booth long enough. I think he's ready to come out.
That laser pointed on it.
I regret to inform you that, and it's clear that these lowbirds are extremely high tech level. This person is dead. Yeah.
Well, at least we can brag that we have seen what a Zodani looks like without their helmet on.
Yeah, we loot it?
You could loot it, but in particular, there's a medical locker here. There's nothing much in the low berths. These don't have anything in them. This one has a dead person in it with stuff spraying out, the stuff that, for low berth that's been floating in 0G for a long time. But yeah, you could loot the room if you choose to. While you do that, everybody can also make a 2d6, and if you have a 10 or above on your intelligence, you can add 1 to get an 8.
Well, as captain, I want to say I don't think we want to dilly-dally with the smaller things, the ultimate salvaging tasks. Because right now what we need to do is continue moving until we find something more helpful.
I got an 8, by the way.
All right, books. You
7 plus 1.
You sense vibrations. Perhaps you sense it because the receiver, from your stuff, you can sense when there's something, a strong field. It will go like you can hear the change. This tells you that there's something coming from the other side of this door, from that room. Anyway.
Okay. What do you guys think? Should we check it out?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I'm ready with my gun trained forward.
All right, you just open the door. You don't make it any further than that. And we're gonna see who is most surprised, I think. Let's do this. Roll a d6, Perseus.
Alright, I got a 5.
5. They are surprised. I'm gonna give you a benefit because you heard it and you opened the door. So you're able to act on this round. Now I want to note about these people, there are 2 things that you see about them. You have seen this before. This is Zodani combat armor. It is hard to crack. And you do not have armor on. You have a vac suit. It counts as cloth armor. But 1-to-1 fighting, you've done it before. It's hard to hit people when they're in combat armor.
Yep. Well, the dumbass telepaths weren't able to read our minds well enough this time, so let's take advantage of that, I think, to scan the room if we can for what other kinds of surroundings they might have. We might want to just take advantage of the choke point that we currently have, though.
From where you are, you can only see what you see.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna slide around the corner of this wall.
All right. Corbinon will take cover as well.
Get my assault rifle load.
Lothak will take cover.
together.
Jackson will tell Lothak, take cover, Lothak, and they'll get behind the...
Did we get a look at what kind of guns they have?
They have assault rifles.
All right, and do I know those to have enough penetrating power to get through this wall?
Can we talk to them?
They do not get through the wall. You could try to talk to them, but they don't seem to respond, and they raise their weapons.
All right, then with the brief remaining surprise we might have, I'm going to take a shot at one of the Marines in the door. I'll let Books try to take another shot if he wants to, but then we're closing the door.
All right, everybody can take a shot, and you can take two because you have surprise, and there's no initiative in this game. The attacker gets to attack.
All right.
You need to hit, let me do all of the math here for the encounter rolls. You have, you're doing an assault rifle against combat armor, which is automatically at a -3. You also have surprise. That'll bring it to a -2. If you go to cover, they are not in cover currently, so that helps you. Just making sure that you don't have anything else. If you fire more ammunition, you're going to run out of ammunition in a few rounds if you do this, but if you use automatic fire, it will bring it, I'll say, to a -1. And then you have whatever, you're also, your range, let me look at the range, is close. Close range. So you'll be at a +0. So it's 2d6 to get 8, unless you have a bonus to your dex. You know, unless you have a 10 or above.
Alright. I have a 10 or above. You also earlier said +1 to laser carbine, but was that just accounting for the fact that I have that dex bonus?
Yeah. Yeah, that's your...
Alright. Then I will roll.
And everybody can do this twice, because you have surprise.
My first shot, I do a 3. It's not impressive.
Looks like it's working this time for Books. Got a 9.
Alright,
Oh,
and my
no.
second shot is an 8.
Okay, so you hit, you do 4 dice damage with that.
Ooh.
I did a total of 12 damage with my second shot.
Alright, let me see. Alright, Lothak hits once for 3 die damage, which is a total of 13. How much damage did you say you did?
12.
12. Okay. Alright. You knock this one unconscious, and then Lothak finishes it up, and the suit bursts like a grape, disintegrating the person inside as you kill the one to the right. And they just float off. They may be hanging by one of their grav boots, you know, and the rest of their body's floating, their blood, you know, and then their body just like disintegrates inside the suit. Okay, and then, okay, so Lothak went, Jackson went, Corbinon gets to go. Misses and hits for 3 dice damage for 12 and knocks this one unconscious. But according to their, oh, actually I don't have to do that because they're not linked anymore. According to their doctrine, they're not allowed to be caught alive, so it disintegrates them as well. This one's going to make a morale check. Passes. Did anybody else hit their target, hit an 8 or above?
I did.
Okay, and then Paco did not, right? So, all right, books. Yeah, it's a 3d6.
I wasn't really aiming, so
6 damage. Okay, that is not enough. It hurts this one, but that's all it does. Let's see. Did everybody fire twice?
yep.
Yes.
Everybody fired
Yes.
twice. All right, this one's able to act. He runs over and takes cover, and you are now fighting a combatant in cover and combat armor. He's got he's going to attack. And then you said you closed the. I'm gonna say you can't close the door, but you can do it this turn if you want. This is going to shoot Perseus.
Gotcha.
I think that hits
Probably.
for 8 damage.
Oh,
I'll let you pick the stat.
that's going to the endurance. There's a reason it's a 12.
Nice. Perseus is hurt bad, but he's not unconscious yet. You start sealing up your suit where it's damaged. All right, and then it's your all's turn again. What do you do?
Squash the bug. That's an order.
I'm gonna go through the door and so if I go over here and shoot, I can't then just go behind cover. I would be putting myself at risk, right?
Where are you going? Sorry, say it again.
So if I sorry, yeah, but if I can't move it now. Basically if I thank you. Basically if I come over here, shoot, then I have to, like, I'm stuck here, right? Like I can't move. Can't
Yeah,
move again.
I'll say that's about right. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna, I mean, if we all shoot, we should be able to get him. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna shoot.
Okay. Roll to hit. 10.
10.
All right, now they are in cover. So let's see here. In cover, character who has attacked from has allowed a defending DM of -4, and you're firing at -3 is -7. And you're at close range, which will give you, I think, a +2, which brings it to -2, which still hits. So you still hit. At an 8, you barely hit. Actually, they're not in cover. You outmaneuvered them anyway. So yeah.
That's why it went down.
Yeah, that's right. 3d6. Sorry. That is enough to kill him. And meanwhile, well, none of you all are over here. What is everybody else doing?
Am I actively bleeding right now? Do I need to address my wounds?
No, yeah. Seal the suit up, cauterize the wounds. It's hurting, it's bad, but you're okay.
I give Books a big pat on the back, and I'm like, I knew there was a reason we kept you around. It wasn't just your good looks.
Alright. And the moment you take
See,
to do
looking
that,
at his scarred
I'm
face.
gonna see if there's a surprise that happens over here. You hear Lothak and Jackson. Jackson cries it out, and he's like, "Contact! 6 o'clock!" And he turns around from the
Alrighty.
other direction. And Lothak runs and cowers behind the wall, and Jackson runs toward the door as gunfire starts coming through the door.
Alright, I'm gonna go back into the cryo chamber. And I'll try to take cover behind this one right alongside Corbinon.
All right. So you take cover. What is Books and Paco doing?
Is this cryo chamber in front of me kind of open? Can I jump into it like a foxhole?
Sure. Yeah, you can get behind it and use it as cover. We could represent. Yeah, exactly.
And we heard it coming over from this direction.
Yep, they're going to get a chance to act. This one runs forward, it gets behind a table, and Jackson is under cover, so it's going to be, let's see, that misses. And then, let's see, the next one's going to run forward, and going to also shoot Jackson, and misses. And they're also, I'm going to do a, okay, yep. And meanwhile, I think everybody, I mean, something I think would be obvious to your traveler is they have radios. They're probably talking to their ship.
Do we try to stand our ground, gang, or do we flee? I think we have a pretty good position we can fire back from right here, but...
I opened fire.
All right, yeah.
All right. You're the one I was most worried about, so if you're game, then let's do this.
Roll to hit. It's going to be hard to hit. It's at -7, and then you're at regular range. I think you have to get like an 11. I'm going to set it at 11.
Right. All right. I shoot.
It's hard because they're, you know, you're firing through this door. They're at a farther range and they're undercover, so
Sure.
it's going to be hard to hit them from here.
All right. With my +1, what is that? I can bring my total modifier to on this.
I don't think it has
Target.
automatic fire, so I think it's just +1 is a 7, and then let's see. I'm gonna set yours at 10.
Gotcha. Nope. 8.
All right. All right. What's Book's doing?
I don't want to shoot because they're like I don't see them. Is that though because they're through that door?
Yeah, they're through
Like
the
literally,
doors.
like they're not. Okay.
It's
Okay,
probably
so could
hard
I
to
go-
see them. It's probably why you're not able to hit them.
Yeah, I don't want to waste my bullets. You had mentioned that we could run out. So could I just move up over here and get into cover like over here? Is that
Sure.
all right?
Yeah,
My
yeah, you
turn?
can do that. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll just move. I'm not going to shoot. I'm just going to get into a better position
Is
over
the
here.
is the overall plan to like Alamo and just like hunker in here and try to fight them off? You're not sure how many are out there.
I mean, we could also try going through this door, seeing.
Yeah, Books, as long as
What's-
you're just spending your turn running across the room while we're firing, go ahead and crack open that door just to see what's there.
All right. Let's see here. Oh no, I got rid of the thing. That's okay. You open the door here, and there is a refresher, a toilet. It's a destroyed section. There are 3 little seashells in the refresher.
Alright.
It
I'm gonna
leads out
say
into
we're-
space into vacuum.
We are going to trade fire with them for one more turn just to see if we hit anybody, cause them to, fail some morale rolls.
Sure.
But after that, if things, don't get better, we're going south.
All right. Let's see. They miss, and everybody can roll once.
Right.
All of your companions miss.
I got an 11.
Nice. You can roll 4d6.
I got a 10.
And does not hit. Not from cover. Not with them in cover and everything.
Okay.
All right.
I did a total of 15 damage.
15 damage. Let me do another morale check here. They fail, and the weapon fire goes silent as you take out the one that's kind of most exposed. And
Nice.
yeah. Now, so that tells you how many there were. There were two, obviously, but this is some kind of Zodani ship, possibly, right? So they sent out a team. You don't know how long you have, but a Zodani military ship will have dozens, hundreds that could eventually take this place. They could also just incinerate it and aim their pulse lasers at the ship and destroy you, you know? So,
I'm trying to think, because I don't know about us just going back to the Rhapsody only to get killed. I feel like
the Rhapsody's dark, so I will also clarify this. Your only hope is that the Rhapsody didn't get detected. 'Cause
I mean, we can't. Zidani ships, right? Wouldn't they have like some kind of like escape pod or something like that?
you have no idea. You've never.
And in any case, it seems like this place was already abandoned once before.
Right. I mean, man.
What I would really like is just to get to some detection systems to get a good eyeball on what's going on out there. Like, what are we dealing with? Is there another ship that showed up or was trying to bait us in or whatever?
Let's see if anybody has Computer 1. Corbanon has Computer 1.
Because, I mean, we know that there was power, right? So
There's
a ship
terminal.
this big, there's a terminal. A ship this big should have some kind of defense system or something. I mean, it's very high tech.
I would love to commandeer it. That would be ideal, but
Corbanon
Yeah.
is unable to access the computer system from this room.
I'm still kind of the mind that we need to keep moving.
Yeah, I say south. We know there's really nothing. This is like the bathroom, essentially, right? So, should we go south to that room where we first fought those Zidani?
I'm actually maybe, but I'm wondering if the right direction is if we just go all the way to the left. Because I wonder if this might be like the back of the ship, especially since we came up to no door over here.
Right. That's a good point. That's a good point.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'll do
gonna
that.
speed some things up and just pull you all over there, and then kind of forward the time that happens.
Yeah, we're gonna go all the way to the left. Oh, hey Zidani. See ya.
You come to two doors.
Now intuition says that it should be this one in front of us, but Zidani, you're weird, so it's probably actually this one. Crack open the little door.
All right, you push open the door. It leads into a hallway with another door at the end.
We'll try this one first before we go down there.
Yeah, should we just peek?
Yeah.
So.
Promising, right?
Okay, yeah, you open this room and you see a conference room. There are two floating suits of power armor that are empty, incinerated here. There's a computer panel on the north side, and then there's locked doors to your west and to the south.
Whoa.
Okay.
Let's check out the computer. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Corbanon, check out the computers, saying the same thing. Can we try on the power armor? Would that take a long time to don?
You could try on the power armor. It'll take you a couple of rounds, but then you'd have Zidani power armor. At least part of it. I mean, you'll have to kind of hobble it together, but...
That'd be cool.
Does anyone want to volunteer for that, or should I be the one since I've already been shot?
I'm down, if that's okay. There's two of them, right? So, I mean...
Yeah. Okay, it takes 2 rounds. And at this point, you can also, everybody make an intelligence check. You'll roll 2d6 to get under your intelligence in this case.
Oh, I did.
I have a 12 in intelligence, and I rolled a 12.
You all, there's really bad news. You hear through like comm chatter, and it's transmitting through something open in the power suits that you just got on. Lots of voices coming from this direction. A lot more.
Which direction?
Oh,
This direction.
Okay.
yeah.
Where
Can
we
I
just
jam
came.
that door?
Uh,
Can I
where
like
you-
wreck it and jam it?
yeah, you could jam that door. You just pull it shut and then jam something into it nearby. Yeah. Take a chair and jam it. It is mechanically jammed now.
Shoot the
And,
control panel with my blaster like Han Solo.
Yeah.
All right, and then lockpick. I need your attention over here to the left. Jackson and Lothak will keep an eye on the door while Corbinon's seeing if he can get anywhere with the computer. And Paco, you go ahead and try unlocking this door over here.
I missed it, so I'm going to roll again for him. I apologize, but it might be a good thing. I don't know. It is a good thing. Okay, he brings the computer online in this room, and he's like, Captain, I know where we are.
Oh,
Awesome.
enlighten us.
We're in the belly of a Zodani cruiser. This is where they have little modules like this. The design doesn't make much sense to me, but anyways, this is a conference room for the officers from a cargo tower. We'll have tower controls, so light bridge controls if we can get into the next room to the west. The room to the south is an auxiliary power room, and it looks like it could blow up at any time.
All right, well, we'll be sensitive around it then.
It looks like any use of power in the ship could cause the whole place to blow.
Ooh. Can we time this so it could blow up as we escape?
Could like we set a detonation?
You have 4 explosives. as well.
Self-destruct, whatever.
That's not the worst idea. Especially if we can pilot this entire cruiser in the direction of wherever these other Zodani may have come from. Because I'm assuming they came from a different ship, since this one seemed abandoned.
Yeah.
And the people in the pod were... The one guy left in the pod was dead.
On that note,
when we got
Captain,
here.
I can see that this is the cruiser Zredskiti, if anyone speaks Zodon. Well, anyways, the ship is mostly destroyed, and this is only a portion of the ship that's floating adrift. It's a module from the underbelly. We must have a local fusion plant, but it's just a small cargo pod.
I could go down to that auxiliary power and just overload it if we need to blow this place up.
If we need to. Or if we just need to make the threat to these Zodani that will blow everybody up. To buy ourselves some time. Where are we getting with opening up the western door?
That'd be you, Paco.
Want me to open it?
Yes, please.
Something starts banging on this door. It seems like things are trying to crank it open.
The door doesn't open.
Yeah, you have bad news on this one. This one is this is like a minor bridge. You'll have to meet an 8+ per round to try to get it open. An 8+, you can open it.
Nope.
It does not open, and I'm gonna see if they can open your door that you jammed. They do open it. They crack open this door, and you see people try to start coming in from the other side here. I'm gonna see if your friends Lothak and Jackson, who will at least cover the rear. Let me reorient them to do that.
Oh my god. I hated that
Oh,
reveal.
3, 4. Okay, no one is surprised. These are the aggressors. They get to attack. They're going to attack Jackson. 3 of them are going to get to 8. 8. 11. They all hit.
wrong, Jackson.
Who's gonna tell Tommy?
Jackson is riddled with bullets as they storm through the east side. You have 1 round to act before,
Quick question, books. Did you have, when you put on your power armor, any form of communication? Like a mic or anything, or a headset that like connects with these guys?
Well, we heard them talking on it, so I would imagine it's 2 ways. So I would say yes. Ross, what do you think?
Yeah, you try to do that. You find a way to transmit, but you do not speak Zodon or Zodani or whatever, and they don't understand you, and you don't understand them. And they look like they're going to charge in the room and start shooting.
All right, everybody take cover.
Could we get through one of the doors though? Like, could we flee?
Well, it's currently locked, but on this round, Paco could try to pick it again. Or you could try to do something else.
Well, there's still the comms communications area over to the north, right? The computer, is there anything we could do? Could we use the computer to, I don't know, to do something?
What form do these explosives take?
I'll say it's up to you. You can have it do proximity, timer, or thrown. What do you call it? Impact. Like if it.
Right.
I would think for the purposes we had them for salvaging, they'd be timed mechanisms.
You could do that.
And I would set the timer for 3 seconds and chuck one at that group over there.
Well, I was gonna ask how big is the yield on these things? I don't want to.
I know. And then I say, everybody run.
I would love to imagine we had grenades, but I don't know what kinds of charges we brought.
Yeah, these are shipbreaker explosives. They cut like they will. I don't know how to describe it, but like a claymore. But imagine a ring of claymores where it just goes, you know.
Sort of a shaped charge.
Yeah, but outward instead of one direction.
I would prefer Paco to keep trying to pick that if this is the plan, because I'm the one out of the player characters closest to the door right now. I can try to throw that bomb over there.
Lothek's going to run and dive for cover. That's what she's going to do.
Or set it up so it blows that way.
So is Corbinon. He's going to take cover behind this chair.
Damn it.
Oh, no. Okay, so that round you're unable to do it. I will say that you can move to and from on a round, so you can also run back and take cover. And these two are going to fire as this place erupts in fire again.
This door to the south locked?
The door to the south is locked as well, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
That will... I'm going to actually say that one will hit. And that one will not hit. It will hit this round. It will hit this round. 3 ones? Gosh darn it. And then a 7. So you managed to take one unconscious. I'm going to move them out of the way. Did everybody move and act this turn?
I tried throwing one of our charges over there.
That hits Books. You throw a charge over there.
Oh, damn. Everybody hit the ground.
Yeah. I don't know if I have to roll anything.
Sorry,
What's going to happen?
Are we taking both those power suits?
I have that Books and Perseus are in them, but they're kind of broken and busted up, but you'll get the benefit of power armor as armor. But, sorry, Books you hit, you can roll damage.
3d6?
Yep, 3d6. That is enough to seriously wound another one. So he's out of the fight, and then of course that kills him because they don't allow prisoners to be taken. Anyone else not act this turn? So this is the same turn that Paco tried to pick the lock on. Everybody acted, including Perseus, right?
I'm just throwing the explosive.
Okay, you threw an explosive. Do you set the explosive for a timer? And if so, like, I guess that you would, but you could either do it like immediate, or you could do it at like seconds or minutes, or like how do you do the time?
I'll give it a good like 10 seconds or how long a round, so to speak, is maybe like a 20 seconds, so they have a chance to react to what they're looking at.
Yeah, you toss the bomb their way. Very importantly, roll a 2d6 to see how well you place it, as you're throwing it.
Does my dexterity figure into this at all?
Yeah, if you have 10 plus, you get a +1 on this.
I got a total of 9 then.
Nice. You place it right in the middle of them on the other side of the door. And Corbinon is going to close the door because he has power. And you hear this goes silent. And then all of a sudden, you hear... well, you wouldn't hear it. You'd feel like the blast, and like the whole place would shake, and then this whole section out here would get torn apart. Now, I don't think anyone is close enough. All you got to do, Books, is not roll a 3 on a 2d6. Same with Perseus. Otherwise, fragments are going to be flying away from that explosion.
Good.
Okay.
What? What?
Oh, please, come on.
You take 11 damage. Pick your stat.
Oh, shit. Shoot. Here, let me see. I'll do it for...
Intelligence.
It has to be... Sorry, it has to be... No. It has to be
I know.
strength, dex, or endurance, to be clear.
I know.
But it's fun. I didn't know if... Yeah.
I'll do endurance, and
okay.
then
And then does it bleed
Well,
over
how much damage was it?
11.
It does. It bleeds into... Okay, yeah, it will bleed into dex. 2 into dex.
Okay, so you're unconscious. Okay. All right, you're unconscious for, I think it's 3 rounds, and then you come back at half of your endurance. Okay. Yeah, you probably killed all those people. You probably only have a while to act before they maybe just destroy everything. I mean, you got a Zodani cruiser parked out there, and they could probably just kill you, so.
If we
Just to be clear.
overload the energy in this thing, will the blast affect the cruiser?
I will say, so I think it's very unlikely, but the key will be that somehow you need to, in a foreign tongue you've never heard before, tell the cruiser that it needs to do a manual pickup, and that they're having a problem. You need to bring something about. But if you did that, I'll say yes. You could probably damage this Zodani cruiser.
Just to clarify, the Rhapsody flew over here and dropped us off. That's how we got on board this ship, right?
The Rhapsody has a launch, like a little shuttle, and you came via the shuttle, and it dropped people off with the shuttle, and then the shuttle left you. Yeah.
Dang. Okay, because we just need to ride back to the Rhapsody is that other thing I'm thinking about.
Well, the Rhapsody is
And I
going to
want-
stay dark until this thing just completely goes away. It may stay dark for like 3 days, because the Rhapsody can only go at thrust 1. A cruiser can go at like thrust 4, I think, or something.
Gotcha.
Once you're in space with a cruiser, it dominates. Like, yeah.
Right.
I'm going to work on this door.
All right, roll 2d6. And meanwhile, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just thinking the Zodani who boarded this ship just now hopefully had their own ride that we could hijack. Because I'm down for blowing up this shipwreck if it can damage the people attacking us. But I'm just thinking about how are we gonna move, like leave from here.
Well,
Exactly. It's
I think-
distracted as well, right?
so I should be clear, because I don't want to hide this. Like, the only way for you to get out of this alive that I can imagine, unless, like, let's say the Rhapsody gets blown up. then you're kind of like doing that scenario, the space sci-fi scenario where you're just hoping someone comes by. But you know that Zidani's, this is something your travelers would know. The Zidani are just going to kill you. They're not going to, maybe they're going to dig around in your brain and take all your secrets away and then kill you. But they're going to kill you. There's no peace with the Zidani. So your hope would be that the Rhapsody needs to be dark and not have been caught. In this game, if you go dark, you can't be seen. So like, bam, we're dark, right? And then they sit in the cold with auxiliary power and emergency lighting. And they just wait. They wait for like 4 days, until hopefully the cruiser leaves. As soon as you have, I think, 3 or 4 hours of your suit, and then you'll run out of air. So if the cruiser leaves by the time your air isn't going to run out, then you can get picked up, no problem.
I'm just saying, we've been talking about intentionally self-destructing this ship we're currently on. And I'm saying I love the sound of that if we have somewhere else we can hang out while it's blown up.
I got the impression, Paco, that you're saying plant the charges and then try to lure the ship in, blow it up, but then you guys are floating off, EVA or something.
Yeah, unless I'm trying to bluff the other ship out. Like if their sensors pick up that this thing is going to supernova.
Maybe if you get into the...
Right? So I want to crank it up, and it's risky because I might not be able to control it. But if I was going to try bluff off that ship, give us time, and then we can leave.
I think they're too far away, but what you could bluff them into trying to do, if you could get into that room, you could roll another 2d6, by the way, our round has passed. You could try to... You don't speak their language, but you could try to transmit a emergency beacon, or something like that.
Yeah, and then their sensors might pick up, like, hey, this reactor is gonna go.
Yeah, so then they have to come and pick them up. Okay, yeah, let's see if you can get in there.
But
you're in. Let's see. There it is unlocked.
I was gonna say it's laser time, if not.
Let's start dragging books over.
How much? How long until I'm? Because I know a couple of rounds have passed. I'm still out.
Yes, you are out. So you'll have 2 more another round or so. So drag you in there, drag Jackson's body in there. Lothak is carrying you guys. Lothak just carries you. And then Park's at the door, and she closes you close the door. She'll train the weapon on the door. Corbinon comes into the room as well. Of course, he's your computer geek. So he comes straight up to the tower control, and this will be a degree of success roll. 2 6s. Corbinon says, I think I might be able to use this emergency procedure that shows that we need a manual pickup, and then we can blow it once the cruiser gets close enough.
That sounds like a fine plan to me.
If we do, and we launch ourselves out EVA, we have to hope that it works, and we have to hope that the Rhapsody's not destroyed, or we're gonna suffocate in 3 hours.
True. Better than getting our brains picked by fucking weirdos with huge craniums.
You said EVA. Now, what's that in reference to?
Sorry, spacewalking, going out in space, launch yourself out in the black. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my worst fear ever. Maybe. I don't know how much distance is between us and quote unquote the easy stuff that the other crew members were sent to.
Well, either way, they'll be in the same boat. If they don't get back to the Rhapsody, then they'll run out of air, and then you'll be toast. So, ultimately,
it turns out that one of these other shipwrecks could have oxygen on them still. Yeah. But
so, Ross, while he's doing that, can I run back to the other room and try to open the door? And I'm going to put one of my explosive charges on that.
Yeah, go ahead and roll 2d6 to see if you can open that locked door. Actually, you don't have to, because Corbinon rolled a 12, so he's able to digitally he's able to unlock it for you.
Oh, good. All right.
And you place your charge, and
put it on the reactor or whatever. How much time we need, boys?
But Corbinon responds to that, and he says, we probably only have, and at this point, Books, you come back to, but you're really hurt. You're at half of whatever stat you took down.
Okay.
And Corbinon says, it looks like, based on what I'm seeing here, they're targeting this. I need to send them this message if I'm going to do it now.
Do it.
All right, he sends the message, and he says they'll be here within a matter of moments.
Okay, I set the timer for 90 seconds.
Okay.
Click.
We'll do more than that. Do more than that.
Yeah.
Give it a good 5 minutes.
He said 2 minutes.
Yeah,
He said a few moments.
few moments, yeah. You do it for, what is that then? A few moments plus one. Right? Whatever that is.
Exactly. Give it 5 minutes, all right? Like, we're making our own like escape timer for ourselves. Like, we're playing Metroid, we're at the end of the game, and we're deciding how much time to give ourselves to escape.
I'm panicky, all right? Just wait. Hold on. I'm like, did I hit the start button? Fuck.
Your internship's not going great. I don't know if we're gonna have to be able to hire you on full time after
All right,
this.
we got 4 minutes. I did my best.
All right.
Corbinon, he opens up a panel, and there's a slight difference in pressure. Stuff starts to drift, and he's like, our gateway into the black.
All right, everybody, let's head out. I'll hold on to Jackson's body, and we'll just go on into the sea of darkness, the infinite. We'll have our radios on, right? Like, we can talk to each other.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Let's see here. So, I don't know if this is the right scene. You go off into space, and finally you hear, you probably only just feel the change in pressure in a deep, like a deep tonk, and then it just like collapses in, and you can see a Zerdani cruiser being ripped in two. And you are now in space. And you have about 2 hours to live.
Maybe a visual of the Rhapsody.
You
I
could
give out
try.
a big woo-hoo as I'm watching this big explosion.
Yeah. So you start trying to reach the Rhapsody. They are able to receive it. You know. By the way, you would know that, right? Like it could passively receive. So but you know, you might not want to do that in the future because maybe somebody could listen in. But in this case, you're like, okay, they're all dead. You could, you know, assuming the Rhapsody.
It's worth it. Like,
assuming
we're in the
Rhapsody's
worst
out
case
there,
scenario.
you can just say, hey, we blew them up. Everything's okay. Bring the systems on. Like, you could tell them that if you wanted. And if they're out
Yes,
there.
please.
New salvage operation.
All right. Yeah, the Rhapsody responds. And you hear the voice of Inna, and she says, I don't know what happened, but I'm radioing the launch right now to pick you up. And we're leaving this site, and we're going to report it to the Imperium, if that is fine.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me. I was actually going to ask when we got back to safety. I know we're in the Spinward Marches. We're closer to Zodani space than we are to, you know, the core of the Imperium. But would this be considered weird to encounter them here?
Very, very, very weird. This is like CIA black aircraft showing up kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually,
This sucks.
actually, it's more like UFOs showing up. Like, the Imperium might kill you if they find out you saw a Zodani. You don't know. Like, this is like Black Ops type kind of stuff that you saw. So, anyways, the launch eventually comes and picks you up, and you're able to and go into normal atmosphere and breathe generated O2 and come back to the ship. And she just leaves it there, and she's like, look, don't worry, I'll put it in the report. they'll put a red zone around this. We are not going to mess with this. We're gonna, if it's okay with you, Captain, I'd like to suggest we drift, not under G, and keep dark for a day or two.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I'm gonna debrief head on everything that we experienced.
You tell her everything.
Man, we have nothing to show for this either, and we just
Well,
lost
you
our
have a
old war
laser
buddy.
carbine and 3 assault rifles.
Yeah. We have some broken power armor.
And broken power armor, yeah.
We didn't pocket the food from those containers. I assumed that we were going to be like carrying them out. Our squishy soft foods that the psychics eat.
So she assures you that Spinward Salvage will still give you your standard pay. Although, yeah, you didn't make it out with any booty. And you drift for several days under emergency lighting. It's cold in the ship and uncomfortable. You stay in your vac suits waiting, and finally bring the ship to life far enough out so that you can join civilization again. And that'll end the adventure for tonight.